What's up, guys? Oh god, my fucking camera's out of focus. What the fuck's wrong with this camera? What's up, guys? It's me, La Pocha. So I got my coffee mug right here. I'm about to sit here and talk. It is what time is it? Fuck. It's 11:31 and it's the summertime. My kids are not in school right now and I am counting down the days so they start next month. I'm actually kind of sad. My daughter's going to be starting kindergarten and my son will be going into the 2nd grade, and I'm just over here like, really, like, where the fuck has my life gone that my kids have grown up like fast before my eyes? But anyway, here to talk about my experience as a phone sex operator, and I will be getting into the different stories later on in another video, but I just want to touch about when I used to be a phone sex operator. So I just wanted to basically I just wanted to touch up on this because I know a lot of people had questions about it and they wanted to know about how did I become a phone sex operator. Well, it was kind of crazy, not even crazy, it was just really just random how I just got into it, but I will let you guys know how I did it. And I don't know if you can still go about the way that I did it, but if you are interested, it is a cool way to earn extra money. The pay isn't all that great when you first start, but you have to have like a really big imagination and you have to be a person that doesn't laugh a lot. Like, especially if someone tells you something like in bed, you can't laugh, like, because I guess, you know, that makes men feel, or the person that you're having phone sex with feel stupid because they're like, oh, I'm supposed to be calling you and getting someone that's like, you know, non-judgmental about, you know, my fantasy, and you're paying him, so you cannot be laughing in their face. You cannot laugh at them at all. Like, you have to have respect for the person that calls you. But anyway, so let's jump into how I started, how I became a phone sex operator. So anyways, it just happened to be, I had turned like 18, I had just turned 18, right? Like, so it was like a week after I had ended up going to my homegirl Chrissy's house. And let me tell y'all a little bit about Chrissy. Maybe you guys might understand this girl. This bitch is like a fucking natural born hustler. This bitch can braid hair, roll blunts, fucking fill out paperwork, fix computers, fucking drug deal, everything. This bitch can do anything and everything because she puts her mind to it. And I don't know why I keep looking blurry as fuck on here. So this bitch Chrissy is crazy as fuck, right? She could fucking babysit, roll a blunt, fucking anything. This bitch can do everything and anything. She can cook. But here's the thing about Chrissy. She when she was a little girl, I think she's like 2 or 3 years old, her house caught on fire. And what happened was her parents thought, each parent thought she was with the other. Like, so like for instance, her mom thought she's with the dad and the dad thought she's with the mom, and what ended up happening was they forgot about her and they left her in the house and she got burned down. And I don't want to hear any judgments about her because sometimes when you're in an emergency, sometimes parents don't know what to do, so she don't want fucking judgment. So let's keep it moving. Anyway, so she got burnt and she got hella surgeries. And pretty much she's burnt from head to toe, but she's like one of the most confident people I've ever fucking met. She doesn't let her disability or she doesn't let her appearance fucking stop her from getting what she wants. She's like, I can do anything and everything that I put my mind to, and she doesn't let little shit like that excuse her, because she hates when people use the I'm disabled or I can't do this, because she's like, obviously I had to make do with what I had. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I just wanted to point this out because she is a big part of why I got into this, and to be realistic about it, like she's like a real big part of it. So I was sitting in her kitchen one day, we were drinking coffee and we were just chilling or whatever, we were about to smoke, and then like her phone rings and and she's like, let me be right back. And then she was like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? So I go outside to go smoke a cigarette, and I come back and she was sitting there like chopping up on the phone, like, hello, like, you know, like really like seductive ass like vixen voice. Like, you have to hear her voice because the way that she fucking did it, I was like, who the fuck is she cupcaking with like that? Like, she's like, hello, and she's like, all right, and then like, hello, and then she just hangs up. I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, what? I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you talking like that? She goes, oh, I'm a phone sex operator. She just said, oh, I'm a phone sex operator. Like, bitch, how the fuck you be no? I'm like, I don't even want to ask. Like, how did you get that job? I asked her. She's like, I found that shit on the back of a paper. The guy worked for some white dude. Like, you could have like work for him if you want to. Do you want to be a phone sex? She just asked me straight out, like, she goes, it's pretty cool, you get a cool little check every month. I'm like, oh, okay. So what I ended up doing was, like, I ended up working for dude. Like, it was just weird because she gave me the dude's number and I called him, and it was some guy named Tom. Tom, he lives, I live in Oakland, so he lives in Belmont, and Belmont is like about an hour and a half away from here. It's like some rich, it's like really rich. It's like, it's really nice up there. It's really fancy. So this dude had money. So some white dude that answered the phone, and I'm not assuming motherfuckers because I did get to meet him once, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all how I got to actually meet him. It's crazy. It's so sorry. Anyway, so what ended up happening was this dude, right? This dude, Tom, answered my phone call, and I was like, hello. He was like, oh, so he just basically just straight out asked, are you 18? Yes. Okay. Give me your ID, your social security number, give me a copy, fax it to me, and then I'll send you the contract. Because he said that what he did was he scanned those things so that he could see that you're legitly 18, because he had like a few girls that wanted to do it, and he had fake IDs, and they ended up being minors. But my mouth, I'm like, I'm all talking. I'm like, ugh. Okay, anyway. So what ended up happening was I gave him my information. He sent me a contract through the email, and then I printed it out, sent it back, and then I ended up. So the next thing he asked me, do you have a landline? Yeah, it's 2004. Fuck, everybody got a new mama got a landline. I have my own personal line. I was like, yeah, I got a landline. Okay, here. He's like, bill collectors. I hate fucking bill collectors that call my house. Anyway, so I ended up calling this fool, like, okay, so he got my contract and shit in the mail. So he's like, you got a landline? I was like, yeah, I got a landline. Like, hello, like, what the fuck? Anyways, so he ended up giving me like the 800 number, and he's like, he gave me like a 5-digit passcode. He's like, this is gonna be your passcode. So like, when you need to log on into the system, this is how it's gonna know that you're online, and then calls are gonna be directed to you or whoever is on the system. So it's gonna go like, so say like 3 girls are logged on the phone. Like, if one girl's on the phone, the next girl gets it. So it's gonna go like in rotation. But unless someone requests you, give them like the 2-digit number. Like, say, I don't know, my number I think was 26. So he's like, give them 26, and if they want to call back, they'll call you and it goes straight to you. So then you get extra money for that. I was like, oh, cool. Like, that was hella cool. I got my, so I actually was a regular, and I did get a lot of requests all the time. So I always was requested. And then my phone sex name was fucking Frankie Page. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really funny at the time. Frankie Page. I like the name a lot. Only because I got the inspiration from the girl at the time from The Real World. The redhead girl, she's like this really like punk rock chick, so her name was Frankie, and then like Betty Page, and I just cut off the name Page and I just put it together, and I thought it was cute. So I always got asked, everyone asked for Frankie Page. Like, everybody loved Frankie Page. And I was like this, I made myself out to be this fucking bombshell pinup chick that liked metal, and then like who had huge boobs with like a fucking hourglass figure, obviously thick ass thighs, like skinny ass legs and small feet, you know, pretty much a woman that ideally does not fucking exist, but every man seems to think that every woman, that's what a woman should look like. Or at least in the case, that's what I got a lot of the time on the phone. So it'd be funny, like, how people are always like, well, you never know who's on the other side of those lines. Like, and that's definitely true, because you have fat people, you have skinny people, you have transvestites, you have all kinds of people on the phone sex line. So it doesn't really matter. But I had to pretend to be everything. So there was housewife, I had to be a military, there was also military housewife. Those were the options. I think was like girl on girl. When girl on girl happened, a lot of the time what they did was the operator would route me and a girl on the phone, and we had like 5 minutes, like, no, not even 5 minutes, I think we had like 2 minutes to talk, like, oh, okay, hey, like, you know, so how do you, like, just so we could, like, whoever it was on the phone, like, we had to get to know each other, like, oh, like, real fast, like, okay, like, okay, so like, you're Frankie Page, like, oh, you're Betty Ann, okay, whatever, so that we could like kind of like strategize. So when the call did get routed through, we were both like, hello, and like you would hear another like, hello, like, so it didn't sound fake, like, you know, so it was like 2 at the same time. And then like the fourth one, was a transvestite. I got those a lot. Like a lot of guys like to fantasize that they were with transvestites. And then I think Anything Goes, and that was actually more expensive. I think that was like $2.99 a minute, whereas Anything Goes, it's like the operator calls you, because if it's not the standard ones where they would punch it in, like, oh, when they call you to route you the call, they're like, oh, we have, it's like a robot that calls you. It's like, it says, hello, you got a call from Adult Entertainment something something, calling to request a naughty housewife. And then you hear like a count, like in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, say hello. And then like the click, and then you'll hear like you gotta go hello, and then the guy would be like, hello, who's this? Oh, this is Frankie Page, who's this? So like you'd pretty much like go back and forth and then pretty much get into it. A lot of the times, so when the operator would call you and tell you someone had a special request, they're like, look, they want you to pretend you're in a locker room, and they want you to pretend that you're getting fucked by the coach. If the coach had a fucking tutu on, you got to get fucked by the coach with the tutu. I'm like, okay, I got it. Like, so whatever they said, it went, right? So it was like, and I always got a lot of special requests because, I don't know, Frankie Page was the fucking slut on there all the time. But then also, a lot of the times, the Anything Goes was just like, they would call you and be like, okay, so we have a casual encounter. And I'm like, okay. So what a casual encounter would mean would be someone who just wanted to talk exclusively, like, oh, I just want to talk to you, you know, I'm very lonely, I don't know what to do, or I'm having marital problems. Like, people, you would always have casual encounters. A lot of people would call, and then I think the time limit would be 30 minutes. They would cut them off, and then they would have to call back and start over. So I would always get a lot of the repeat callers. And like, I want to say the first paycheck I got was very disappointing because I didn't get that many calls. I think I took like 3 or 4 calls, and I made like $7. Like, I remember it was like stupid. I was like, what the fuck? Like, this, you know, I was like, what the fuck? But if you could get them over the phone over 10 minutes, you got a bonus. If you could keep them over 20, you got a bigger bonus. If you got 30, you definitely started getting paid more regular. So because I could keep guys on the phone for like 30 minutes at a time, I started being moved up into the thing. So now my calls were being routed first. I was always giving first priority for a lot of the calls. And then like, I think after like the first 2 months, I started getting really good at it, where I was making hundreds of dollars, even thousands. I think the biggest paycheck I ever got, and you got paid every week. So like, say like every week you're working, you get paid every week on a Friday. So I think like the biggest check I ever got was maybe about for $2,500. That was like that was like the biggest check, because I remember this one old dude call, and he wanted to know about shit, and it was like all he did want to talk about was his daughter-in-law that, you know, like I think she was like 19 or something, and his son had just married her, and he wanted to like fuck the shit out of her, and like, but she didn't like him or whatever, so he wanted me to pretend that I was her. And then here's where I got more into the game than I thought that I would ever get into. I started selling my panties to my clients. Now this just happened to be just really like random how that happened. My clients started calling, and they're like, I want to smell you, and just like they would tell me, I want to just know what the hell you smell like. I just want to have you near me. And then I'm like, really? Like, and they're like, would you sell me your panties? I'm like, I can send you my panties if you want. So what I started doing was I talked to my boss, and he was like, I can definitely set that up with the operator, like if they call back or if they call before they get in, to get their information or their billing information, so that we can bill them, and you can get the profit of the panties, because you're sending them yourself, and you would just buy your panties and then just pretty much whatever. So, and this is actually really lucrative, people. This is what I would say. These are Marilyn Monroe panties. Like, these are Marilyn Monroe thongs. Like, I just stopped recently. Okay, this is my kinky fetish, where I would send guys panties, and of course I don't fit these anymore, you know, like I sell these, like whatever. I would sell panties. I just stopped recently selling them. I got too busy to sell, and I would exclusively sell, and I would get like a little bit of money for them. Like now I get, like now that I don't do the phone sex anymore, I would only sell panties through the supplier, through the guy. and I would get paid like 50, 75 bucks per pair. And again, that's not a big deal, but this is how I would make my income for a long time. And everyone would always be like, bitch, how the fuck do you have money if I don't ever see you go to work? Or like, don't worry about what I do. So, or I would be on I don't know, the party line, and I would just fucking catfish guys to call me on the party line. Or if you would be on AOL chat, like I used to be one of those spam bot girls. Like I would have my own AOL account where you can get into the chat room and you would have like this picture of this fucking porn star, obviously. Like I was definitely responsible. So definitely I would have I would definitely be in the chat rooms as well, doing the, like, I would have like a porn star picture. Like I would just tell my boss, because he also didn't only do phone sex, he also produced pornos, and he also ran his own porn company. I think he also started doing sex toys, excuse me, and he started making cock rings or some shit. Well, he was very big. He's very big in the adult industry. He's very big now, at least I could say, because I haven't seen him, I think, in 3 years. But I did get to meet him one time, and I was the voice of his phone sex line. So when you get those pre-recorded, like when you call the actual number, you can hear someone's voice. And then I'd be like, hi, or like I had to read a script. I remember meeting him. He was like this tall white guy with like white ass hair. Like he was hella tall. He looked like Frankenstein to me. He looked hella awkward. He drove a fucking Benz. I remember he called me. He was like, I'm gonna meet you at a hotel, but meet me in the lobby, and I want, just so that you could see we're like real, right? So at first when I went, I got hella scared. I was like 19 years old when I met him. Like it was after a year, maybe after working for him. I was like, okay, I had never Skyped him. Skype wasn't even an option back in the day, because if you didn't have a webcam, and webcams back then were hella expensive unless they were built in. I'm like, what the fuck? So I didn't have that option to Skype him, so I couldn't know if he was, we didn't have FaceTime back then. So I ended up like, okay, I ended up meeting him at the hotel. Like it was some hotel in San Francisco. It was at the Four Seasons, I think. It was some fancy ass hotel. It was hella fancy, because when we walked up in there, it was like, bitch, who the fuck is you? You was too poor to look, like, you look too poor to be here, bitch. We don't go by the hourly rate. I'm like, no. But I ended up walking the lobby, and then like I looked out for what he told me to look out for. He's like, look out for a white guy in a blue shirt and boat shoes and pants. And I ended up finding him right away, and then I was like, Tom, and he was like, yeah. I'm like, I'm Crystal. He's like, oh my goodness, hi. So he's all hella nice. He's like, okay, so I'm gonna take you upstairs where we have the recording equipment up there. I'm like, recording equipment? He goes, yeah. He goes, we got, a lot of the guys want to hear your voice on the intro of the phone sex. So when we go upstairs, he goes, I already called up room service. And I'm 19. I was stupid as fuck. I probably shouldn't have met him in a hotel, but I definitely did. I'm sorry if my camera keeps going out of focus. I'm just trying to like be whatever. Anyway, so what I was 19, and I'm stupid as fuck. I definitely shouldn't have gone up to the hotel room with him at that time. I mean, now that I think about it, even though I was an adult, I was too okay like about everything, especially because back in the day when I first started out on doing phone sex and shit, this is like when the internet started becoming more of like a fucking necessity to be with it, because back in the day we didn't have, it wasn't as live as it was now. We had MySpace that had just kicked off, and then we just also had like what is it, something lock, do you guys remember that shit? Something Locker, I don't remember how, or Classmates or something. I think it was Put Locker or something. Well, anyway, I shouldn't have been so naive to go with him to the hotel room, but I definitely just like, fuck it, why not, like, YOLO bitch. So I ended up going, and then I went upstairs with him, and then it just happened to be like he rented out a big ass hotel room. It was like 3 rooms, I think. And then when we went, it was another guy, 2 ladies, and and then the other room, he had a whole nother thing going, and then he had like this big ass fucking table full of food. I remember there was hella like donuts and fruit and sandwiches and like all kinds of shit, and there was like a waiter, like he looked like a bartender, And like he was doing like drinks. He was like walking around offering everybody drinks. And he was like, help yourself to anything you want. He goes, this is the craft table. He goes, I'm taking care of everybody right now. And then he explained to me, he was like, I have you right now recording your voice. He goes, you see the guy in the corner, which is some geeky ass guy in the corner. He had like this big ass briefcase, and it had like a box and like one of those, like, what are they, like the little things that like producers have, like the little switches on them. You like do this on them. He's like, I have them here. He goes, and he has headphones on, so he's checking the pitch, and then he had this little thing, like a little cubicle ass shit around him, and it looked like it was soundproof. I'm like, okay. And I was like, what's going on in the next room? He goes, there's a porno going on over there. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. He goes, you want to see? I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Like, he took me. So he walked me up in the room, and then it happened to be a bunch of girls getting their makeup done, getting their hair done. And there's a guy in the bathroom getting like spray tan in the bathroom, I remember. And he was like, okay, so he goes, we rented out this whole room right now. He goes, we're doing them up here, but they're gonna end up, you know, they're gonna be acting and shit in the rooms and acting like whatever. I was like, okay. So I got to meet some of his actresses. They were hella nice. And he was just telling me, yeah, it's a dirty business, but you know, it's very profitable. He's like, it's just a lot of shit going on. So he had me sign a couple of contracts, and then like 30 minutes later, I ended up recording my voice to be on the thing. So like my voice for like about a year or so was on the phone sex line. It was like, hi, you've reached the Bay Area's hottest phone sex line. Press 1 to speak to an operator. Press 2 if you already know the girl you want to connect with. Press 3. Oh wait, I don't remember. Some shit like that. I don't remember. Like, hi, you've reached the phone something phone line. I don't remember. It was some fucking script. I had to read it over and over and over and over and over and over again. It was just hella annoying because I had to stop. And it's not now like where it's digital. They had to actually use a fucking tape and then like stop, record, stop, record. Okay, do it again with this pitch. Do it again with this like perkiness of you. And then I ended up getting paid like an extra like $300 for doing that. But again, it's like whatever. But it was this to me, this was a fun time in my life where I was doing something. And at the time, my mom was not supportive of it. She was like, you're in this, you know, she thought I was just pretty much being like a hoe. And I mean, like, what parent would really want their kid? And I understand now as a mom, what parent would really want their kid to be in the adult industry? And I think, you know, now I think about it, it was kind of stupid for me to do it because it's like whatever. But at the same time, I liked it. It was very different for me. It was something really cool, and I could just be like chilling on the phone all the time. I was making the money that I was pulling in. It was really profitable. And the thing is, like I explain it like now, it definitely opened my eyes up to something definitely new. It opened my eyes to something that allowed me to see, you know, that sex for me at the time wasn't so black and white. There's definitely a fantasy era there, because I, you know, as a kid growing up, or you know, as a teenager, or as a whatever, you think sex is just sex and that's it, but you didn't know that there was way. And I feel like it kind of matured me sexually as well. Like, I mean, mentally, I think it did, because it's like you got to learn all kinds of shit. You didn't, like, for me, like, okay, I didn't know that guy, like, you know, at 18, 19 years old, like, I didn't know, like, girls can get, like, serviced up too. Like, the fuck you mean? And you're like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, for me, like, okay, younger, yes, I didn't get the play that I get played now, like, you know, whatever. Like, say you're giving head to dude, but he can't give you head back. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, be realistic about it. Like, he can fucking serve your ass up too. Like, if you gotta give him head, he can give you head too. And also about, you know, the foreplay, and also about and it also opened my eyes to me seeing, like, you know, dominatrixes, you know, doms, subs, everything. So this all opened up a whole new world, and also about me learning about sex toys, me learning about a lot of like the words and terminology and the culture that just got me more interested in it and more into it. And where I would research shit from the phone sex, I'm like, god damn, like this shit got me going crazy. But it was really fun. Why it did last, I did sell my panties, I did have fun, and I did make a lot of money doing it. But would I do it now? No, not so much. My kids are always around, and you could always, I mean, fuck, if I can never record a video free time without them popping up, I couldn't do it on the phone now. Plus, it's just, I feel like that's definitely a job for someone who can stay on the phone all day. Now I can't even stand to be on the phone. But anyways, guys, that's it. That's all I have time for today. We're gonna do a get ready with me soon, so look out for that. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and like this video, or comment down below if you guys do want to hear the weird sex stories that I've encountered over on the phone sex, or my clients, or any other fucking weird aspect of the job, or if you want to know more about me doing something, let me know, guys. Just, you know, I'm here, and like I said, I'm always open, and I've always been 100 about everything that I talk about. And I mean, I try to be, for the most part, like I said before, I try to keep things private, because I feel like not everybody should know everything about my life. Stitch, stop! Oh, this fucking cat's trying to play, like, jump on my blinds, and she's annoying the shit out of my life. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my coffee. I'm going to get ready, and then I will be out the door. You guys take it easy. Have a great weekend. Look out for my videos soon. Bye, guys.